Good evening and thanks for joining us. This is Turn the Page, a literacy initiative brought to you by KENS 5, and we are proud to be helping everybody out there do a little story time tonight. And I have the pleasure of sharing with you Big Words in Mari's Big Little World. This is written and illustrated by Jon Coker, an exciting book with a whole lot of lessons we're going to get into tonight. There were big words and little words in Mari's Big Little World. There were big kids and little kids, too. I think that's something we can all relate to. The big kids grew bigger, while the little kids became smaller. Mari was shrinking, too. Uh-oh. At breakfast, Mari ate big words with hopes that she would grow and grow and grow. But the more she ate, the more she shrank, and the less her light would show. She tried more letters, more vowels, more big sounds. Now I know that I'll get big. But the more she ate, the more she shrank, and those words made her sick. Her little light was fading out, and Mari was afraid. Ugly, dumb, impossible were the words that she would say. Her papa heard and gave her new words. At first she wouldn't eat. I want to be big and your words are small. Small words make us shrink. Her papa smiled and ate a small word, and he began to grow. Some words may be small, with few letters and sounds, but they're big in how they glow, he said. Mari ate the big little words, and her light began to shine. She grew so big that she had to leave her little world behind. Now Mari's world is filled with light and glows with love and life. And all her words, whether big or small, are always big and bright. The end. And that is a great story there, written and illustrated again by Jon Coker, and a sweet little note about his daughter, Amaris, also known as Mari, Marquita, Ladybug, and Mariposa. She is the youngest of our two Coker cubs. Her big sister, Amor, is her best friend. Fun fact, the book was written before Mari was even born, and it was illustrated and published shortly after her first birthday. Oddly enough, we catch Mari eating books and flashcards all the time. We figure she's just hoping to grow faster. And I want to thank you again for joining us tonight as we read Big Little Words in Mari's Big Little World, written and illustrated by Jon Coker, a guy we're all lucky to call a friend and coworker here at KENS 5. And I want to thank you especially for joining us for the Turn the Page initiative brought to you by Idea Public Schools, something we're all proud of here at KENS 5. I want to thank you for your time and your support.
How are you doing this evening? I'm meteorologist Paul Morellis. You may have seen me every morning on KENS 5 Eyewitness News. Also, most mornings on Great Day SA at 9 o'clock. And I'm just so glad that you're here with us today. We're going to read a book, and if you don't mind, I'm going to read it kind of like I would to my own kids. And it's really kind of an interesting book. But before we get to that, I just want to tell you this is the KENS 5 Turn the Page initiative. And this is in partnership with IDEA Public Schools. All right, let me give you a little background. The name of the book is What Can You Do with a Paletta, right? And this is authored by Carmen Tafoya. That name may sound familiar because she is local here in town. She was born here, and she's a professor at UTSA, and she's a published published poet, actually, and believe it or not, she was poet laureate of Texas in 2015 and 2016. So she's quite great, and I like this book. I think this book is going to be really interesting, and I hope you like it as well. So what can you do with a paletta? And if you don't mind, I probably will add a little bit, not really add to the story, but kind of just add my style a little bit. Hopefully you don't mind. Okay, everybody ready? Again, here's her book and the paletta. All right, where the big velvet roses bloom, red and pink and fuchsia, where the accordion plays sassy and sweet, where the smell of crispy tacos or buttery tortillas or juicy fruta floats out of every window. It smells good, right? And where the paletta wagon rings its tinkly bell, ting-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling, and carries a treasure of icy palettas in every color of the serape. That's my barrio. You can dance to the accordion, you can smell the tacos, but what can you do with the paletta? That is the question. And I'm sure there's a lot you can do. You can paint your tongue purple and green and scare your brother. I guess she's saying boo. Also, or maybe you can make tough decisions. Is it going to be strawberry or is it going to be coconut? I don't know, but both sound good to me. You can also make new friends with a paletta. Give yourself a big blue mustache. That sounds like fun. Or you can even create a masterpiece. Those kids are talented, right? You can use one to cool off, like Mama does. And you can just imagine that on a hot summer day, right, with the paletta outside and cooling off. Sounds good, right? Tio, believe it or not, once won a baseball game by offering one to the batter right when the ball was being pitched. Would you rather have a fastball or a paletta? I added that. Okay. You can help the senora at the fruit stand make it through a long, hard day. But I think the very best thing to do with a paletta is to lick it, slurp it, sip it, munch it, and gobble it all down. Where the big velvet roses bloom, red and pink and fuchsia. Where the accordion plays sassy and sweet. Where the smell of crispy tacos or buttery tortilla or juicy fruta floats out of every window. And where the paletta wagon rings its tingly bell, ting-ling-ling-ling-ling-ling, and carries a treasure of icy palettas in every color of the serape. That's my barrio. Okay, hope you enjoyed the story. And I know that you're probably familiar with palettas, but those that aren't, of course, palettas are those nice, I guess, icicles that are made out of fruit and just really, really great. And they come in all kinds of different colors. So hopefully you enjoyed What Can You Do with the Paletta? It was my pleasure to read it to you, and I hope you have a good evening and a good night.